Hello students, in last class we already discussed about what is lens, types of lenses, and then we already studied that how to verify the lens formula for thin lenses, for convex lens producing real and virtual image, and for concave lens producing virtual image. Then we studied the different terms related to lenses and the two types of focus for lens, that is secondary and primary focus. Clear? So today we are going to discuss about magnification in case of lens. So magnification is what? So magnification is defined as how the image size increase or decrease with comparison to the object size. That's known as the magnification. If image size increases or it will become large in comparison to object, the magnification will something. If the image size decrease in comparison to the object, the magnification will be something. So magnification is basically what? How the image size changes with respect to object. Clear? So magnification in case of lens, so magnification in case of lens is of two types: lateral magnification and longitudinal magnification. Okay, so first of all we are going to study what is lateral magnification. Denoted by M. So if here is a lens and this is the principal axis, we already know, let the lens be L dash. This is the optical center O. This is the focus. Okay. So if here is a object present at this place A, B. So an incident ray goes parallel to the principal axis and after refraction it will pass through the focus like this, and another ray goes through the optical center which will go undeviated and it will moves like this. So these two rays will intersect at some point here. So if the principal axis will extended along this direction, so this will be the inverted real image A dash B dash of the object AB, which is enlarged, become larger in comparison to the object. So what is magnification? Here magnification M can be given as the height of image divided by height of object. The height of image, this is HI, the height of image, and this is HO, the height of object. So here this angle is equal to this angle, theta, equal to theta, because the ray which is passed through the principal which pass to the pole of the lens or optical center of the lens will go undeviated. So here this angle equal to this angle. So from this triangle ABO and A dash B dash O. So in triangle ABO and in triangle A dash B dash O we will get what? Tan theta equal to how much? H0 divided by this will be how much? The object distance, which is measured opposite to the direction of incident ray, so it will be minus U. And also in triangle A dash B dash O, tan theta equal to how much? HI by this length is how much? Plus V, because it is measured along the image distance which is measured along the direction of incident ray, so V. So this implies you can write H0 by minus U equal to HI by V. So rearranging this we will get HI by H0 will be equal to how much? Minus V by U again. H0 is measured above the principal axis, so it will be positive, and HI is measured below the principal axis, so it will be negative, so minus. So minus minus will get cancelled, so we will get what? So this implies we will get height of image divided by height of object will be equal to distance of image divided by distance of object, which is M. This is known as what? The lateral magnification for convex lens. Clear? Or any type of lens can produce the lateral magnification, which is height of image by height of object divided by V by U, and all these are used with proper sign. All are used during numericals with proper sign convention. Okay, you have to use this formula for the lateral magnification, height of image, height of object, distance of image, distance of object with proper sign conventions. Clear? So this is known as lateral magnification, which is h by h not equal to v by u. Clear? Next we will study what is longitudinal magnification. So next we are going to study about longitudinal magnification. So what is longitudinal magnification? We already, if this is a lens, okay, and here is a object placed like this. This is the length AB, okay. So what will be the image after refraction through this lens? If this is will be the image A dash B dash, which will form after refraction, then how the width of image and width of object changes, that is known as lateral magnification. So lateral magnification can be given as width of image by width of object, or you can say the change in object distance with change in image distance will give the lateral magnification. So you already know the lens formula is 1 by v minus 1 by u equal to 1 by f. So let here this is u and the image this is v, okay. So we have to remember that here the width of object and width of image are very small in comparison to u object distance and image distance. Then only we can use this concept. So 1 by v minus 1 by equal to 1 by f. So differentiating both sides, it will be minus 1 by v square into minus dv into minus 1 by u square into du equal to 0, because focal length of the lens remain constant. So differentiating it will be 0. So this implies we will get what? Minus dv by v square minus 1 by u square by du equal to 0. So this implies we will get what? dv by v square equal to du by u square, okay. So this implies we will get dv by du equal to minus v square by u square. Clear? So this is the expression for longitudinal magnification. dv, change in image distance divided by change in object distance, will be equal to minus v square by u square. This will be known as the lateral magnification, okay. And it's only valid only when the width of object and width of image are very negligible in comparison to the object distance and image distance. Clear? If they are not negligible in comparison to u and v, then we have to determine the object and image distance separately by considering the edges as a point object for each of for the complete object. This A will be considered as a point object for which we have to determine its image, and then for A is considered as a point object for which we have to determine its image. Then we have to find out the difference between the image distance, which will give us the width of the image, and this will give us the width of the object. Then width of image by width of object will give us what? The longitudinal magnification. So here the longitudinal magnification dv by du equal to what? Minus v square by u square, okay. Clear? So here as we can write this 1 by v minus 1 by u equal to 1 by f. So what is 1 by V? It is measured along plus, so it will be positive. What is 1 by U? It is measured along minus U, so it will be again plus. Clear? That's why when we are differentiating this, we will get what? Minus 1 by V square dV into, this will be plus, it will be again minus 1 by U square du equal to 0. So we will give what? Minus dV by V square equal to minus 1 by U square du equal to 0. So minus dV by V square equal to du by U square, which will give minus V square by U square. Clear? So how this becomes plus? You already understand? Because here U is minus U, because it is measured opposite to the direction of incident ray, because incident rays are traveling along this direction. This is the pole or optical center. So U is measured opposite to the direction of propagation of incident ray. That's why it is minus U. V is along the direction, and F, your focal length, is also positive for convex lens. So it is positive. So 1 by V minus, it can be written as like this, minus of minus U. U is negative. So it will become how much? Minus minus plus. Then by differentiating this with 1 by V minus 1 by V square dV, it will become plus. So 1 by minus U square d equal to 0. By solving this, we will get this is the longitudinal magnification. Clear? So, and during solving the numericals, you have to put V, U, dV and du with proper sign convention. This negative sign is the sign of the formula. Clear? So next, we are going to study the combination of lenses. So combination of thin lens. Okay. So if there are two lenses which are closely attached with each other, okay, this is the principal axis, this is lens 1, this is lens 2, okay, this is the optical center O1, O2. These are very thin, so the gap O1, O2 is negligible. So if here is an object for which this is the ray, after refraction it will pass through the focus of the lens 1, let it be f1, and goes along this direction, and the second ray which is passing through the optical center will goes like this direction. So they will meet at this point, it will be the image. Let this be A, B, and the image will be A dash, B dash. Clear? So now this distance for the first lens is U1, and this distance from the first lens will be V1. So by applying lens formula for the lens 1, we can write 1 by V1 minus 1 by U1 equal to 1 by F1. Let it be equation 1. Clear? But as there is another lens L2 is present, so the rays after refraction through the lens 1, these rays will act as incident ray for lens 2. So the image A dash B dash will act as a virtual object for lens 2, and due to which after refraction through the lens 2, the incident rays will travel along this direction, and they will travel, make an image at this place. This is the A double dash, B double dash. So here this will become what? The image distance of the first lens will become the object distance for second lens, and this will become the final image distance V2 after refraction through the second lens. So here we can write what? 1 by V2 minus 1 by U2 equal to 1 by F2, or this can be written as 1 by V2 minus, what is the value of 1 by U2? U2 is same as that of 1 by V1, minus 1 by V1 equal to 1 by F2, because the distance CO to O dash, O1, O2 is negligible. Okay, that's why the distance from O2 to this and O1 to this will be same. So let this is the equation 2. Now adding equation 1 and 2, by adding equation 1 and 2 will get what? 1 by V2 minus 1 by U1 equal to 1 by F1 plus 1 by F2. So this is 1 by V2 minus 1 by U1 will be what? 1 by F equivalent of the length, which is equal to 1 by F1 plus 1 by F2. So this is the equivalent focal length of combination of two lenses. Clear? If there are more than two lenses, if there are n number of lenses, if n number of lenses are there, in combination, then we can write 1 by F equivalent equal to 1 by F1 plus 1 by F2 plus 1 by F3 and so on up to plus 1 by Fn. Clear? You have to remember this formula. Clear? Here there are some conditions. All focal lengths of each individual lengths are measured with respect to the surrounding medium of object and observer. Okay, they are not depending upon the medium of the lenses close to them. Okay, the focal length of each individual lens F1, F2, F3 have to be measured with respect to the medium of the object and observer. They are not depending upon the medium of the lenses close to them. Clear? Next, all lenses are thin. Okay, all lenses are to be thin, otherwise we can't apply this formula. Next, all rays are paraxial and all lenses are closely connected. If there are separation between the lens, then we can apply this formula. Okay, so here all focal length of each individual lens are measured with respect to the surrounding medium of object and observer. All lenses are to be thin, all rays are paraxial and all lenses are closely connected. Clear? Next point is, you have to remember that all focal lengths are used with proper sign convention. Okay, so if the final F equivalent is positive, if F equivalent is positive, then the equivalent lens is converging. If it's negative, then it is diverging. Okay, you have to remember the points that if the F equivalent after using all the sign convention for each individual focal length becomes positive, then the F equivalent is act as the equivalent lens is act as a converging lens. If the F equivalent is negative, then the equivalent lens of the combination will act as a diverging lens. Clear? So this is how we can calculate the equivalent focal length for combination of thin lenses. Clear? The conditions you have to remember, then only we can apply this formula. Clear? Next, so next, if two lenses are separated by a certain distance, then what will be the equivalent focal length? If like this, here is a lens and here is another lens. Okay, this is the principal axis, lens 2, lens 1. Okay, it's a focal length f1, it's a focal length f2, and the separation between these two lengths be d. Then if incident rays are coming parallel to the principal axis, that means the object is at infinite, then for which the F equivalent equal to 1 by f1 plus 1 by f2 minus d divided by f1 f2 will be the formula for F equivalent. Clear? So this is the expression for F equivalent, which is equal to 1 by f1 plus 1 by f2 minus d divided by f1 into f2. D is the separation between two lenses and f1 f2 are the individual focal length of each lens. Clear? So this is the equivalent focal length of the equivalent lens of these two combinations. So where should the equivalent lens to be placed? So the position of the equivalent lens is, let it be D, is defined as df by f1. Okay, so the position of the equivalent lens which have focal length f equivalent is df equivalent divided by f1. D is the separation between two lengths into f equivalent, the equivalent focal length of the combination, divided by f1, the focal length of the first. This will be the position of the equivalent lens, which is D behind the lens 2. Okay, this is the equivalent position and this lens is placed D distance behind the lens 2. Clear? This is the equivalent focal length and this is the position of the equivalent lens which is placed D behind. That means this much distance behind the lens 2. Clear? And you have to remember one important point. These formulas are only valid when rays are parallel to principal axis. That is, object at infinite. Clear? We can apply these two formula for the F equivalent and the position of the equivalent lens only when the object is at infinite, or the incident rays formula only valid when the rays, incident rays, are parallel to the principal axis. If the object is at certain finite distance, then we can't apply this formula. Clear? So this is how we can calculate the focal length for two distantly placed lens. Clear? So next we are going to discuss about power of lens. So what is power of lens? So power of lens denoted by P, it's the reciprocal of focal length of lens. So power of lens P equal to 1 by F and unit is diopter. Okay, denoted by D. So power will be in diopter if F will be in meter. Okay, so when focal length is measured in meter, power will be measured in diopter. Okay, so as focal length of convex lens is positive, so power of the convex lens will be positive. As the focal length of convex lens is negative, so power of the convex lens, concave lens will be negative. So you have to remember power of convex lens is positive and power of concave lens is negative. Clear? And what is power? Power equal to 1 by F, which is measured in diopter, denoted by D, and if power is measured in diopter, focal length should be measured in meter. Clear? So this is known as the power of a lens. So if combination of lens 1 by F equivalent will be equal to how much? 1 by F1 plus 1 by F2 and so on. So this implies the P equivalent for combination of lens will be how much? P1 plus P2 plus up to so n Pn, and all powers are used with respect to the size. Clear? Then what will be the magnification for the combination? So for combination of thin lenses, the magnification, equivalent magnification will be, you have to remember this is the equivalent power for combination of thin lenses, and you already know what is F equivalent, equal to 1 by F1 plus 1 by F2 and so on up to 1 by Fn. Similarly, the magnification, equivalent magnification for combination of lenses will be M1 into M2 into M3 up to Mn. If n lenses are connected or combined together, then the magnification by the individual lens will get multiplied to give the equivalent magnification of the combination of lens. Powers are added, focal lengths are reciprocally added, but magnification gets multiplied. So this is how what the combination of lens acts. Clear? How the focal length changes when lenses are combined, how their power varies, and how the equivalent magnification varies. We already studied. So this is all about the magnification of lens, the combination of lenses. Clear? Okay. So next, if here is a lens, okay, and here is a point object O, the incident ray will goes like this, and after refraction it will bend along this direction. Clear? So this is the direction of incident ray and this is the direction of refracted ray. So this is the angle of deviation. So what is the value of deviation when a incident ray goes like this? Let this height be h. Okay, so this angle be alpha, this angle be beta. So the deviation can be delta, can be written as beta plus alpha. Okay, so let it be O A B. This will be I. So in triangle OAB, we can write tan alpha equal to how much? AB by BO. Similarly, in triangle AIB, you can write tan beta is equal to how much? AB by BI. If alpha and beta are very small, then I can write alpha equal to AB by BO and beta equal to AB by BI. So this implies alpha will be how much? AB is h divided by BO is the object distance which will be measured opposite to the direction of propagation of incident ray minus u, and this will be the image distance plus b. So minus u and beta equal to h by v. So this implies the deviation angle delta will be how much? Alpha plus beta. So h by v minus h by u. So this will be h whole into 1 by v minus 1 by u. So the deviation angle will be h by f. What is f? Focal length of lens. Clear? So this will be the value of deviation. Clear? Next, if a lens is, it's a lens given to us, okay, and we cut it vertically into two parts like this. Okay, then what will be the value of focal length? Okay, if this lens have focal length f, then these two lenses have focal length 2f. Okay, you have to remember that when a given lens of focal length f is cut into two equal parts in vertically or perpendicular to its principal axis, then the focal length of each part will become 2 twice of the initial focal length, because here it is a biconvex lens. So what is the focal length? We can write 1 by f equal to, let the surrounding medium is air, it will be mu of lens minus 1 into 1 by r1, this is the radius, let it be by it equiconvex. So r1 r2 will be same, so 1 by r1 along this direction positive, minus 1 by r2 will be along this direction, will be minus will be plus, so 1 by r. So equivalent focal length or the focal length of this will be mu l minus 1 divided by r into 2, which is 1 by f for this case. And for this case, this is a plano-convex, one part is plane, so here 1 by f dash will be equal to how much? Mu of lens minus 1, because surrounding is taken as air, into 1 by r1, that is r minus, other one is infinite, so this will become 0, so it will become how much? Mu l minus 1 divided by r. Clear? So here the focal length will be how much? This implies f will be how much? F equal to r divided by 2 into mu minus 1, and here f dash equal to r divided by mu l minus 1. So as this equal to r divided mu l minus 1 by 2, and this is r divided mu l minus 1, so you can write f dash equal to 2 into f. Clear? Because here the focal length is r divided 2 into mu l minus 1, and here the focal length is r divided mu l minus 1. So f dash will be how much? 2 into f, because f dash equal to 2 into f is r divided by 2 into mu l minus 1, 2 will get cancelled, so r divided mu l minus 1 is f dash. So when a lens is vertically cutted into two equal parts, the focal length of each part will become twice of the initial focal length. Clear? But if the lens is cut along the principal axis, you have to remember this relation. If the lens is cut along the principal, like this, if this is the lens having focal length f, I cut it along this direction, so it will become like this. This is a part, this is a part. So here both side will remain same radius of curvature, because they are remain the same part of the same sphere. So here there will be no change in focal length. Okay, clear? So if a lens is cut in vertically, its focal length gets doubled. If it cut horizontally, its focal length remain unchanged, because here the radius of curvature remain constant. Okay, so this is how lens change their focal length when they get cut. Clear? So this is about combination of lenses, the power. Okay, next class we will discuss further. Thank you.